You seriously need to know how I got that 98% in maths. So if you do, stay tuned. Hello everyone, my name is Tiniso Dlamini. So now I'm going to share with you my tips on how to actually get 98% in maths, right? So the first thing is get rid of excuses. Hope you can see that. You need to get rid of excuses. I mean, if you're the person that's gonna say, oh no, I get tired, I get this, I can't study, I can't create time, or you're a girl, you wash dishes, you clean at home and all of that stuff. Oh no, I stay in one room, I can't really study, we use one light, and I say get rid of excuses. For me, I used to stay in one room myself in grade 11, and there was only one light that would actually light the entire house. So I had to study, I had to find means to study. I used to study when my parents were asleep, basically. you know which was really hard for them because they have to switch off the light to sleep, so they had to learn on how to sleep while the light is on. So I had to make that sacrifice of studying. So make sure you get rid of excuses. Whether you stay in rural areas and you see it as impossible to study, I tell you, if you're gonna say those excuses or stick to those excuses, then I'm telling you, you won't really improve. So change your mindset and start to be positive about anything. We come from different backgrounds. We don't come from fortunate backgrounds. Some students are struggling more than you, but they make it. They make sure that they study hard and you know, get those good grades. So please get rid of excuses. That's the first tip that I can give you guys. Second tip is change your habits. We all have bad habits, right? I mean, you spend most of your time with your friends. That's a good thing, but it does it benefit your education? So you need to look at that. You need to change your habits. Do you watch TV from 6 up until 9? You watch your Skim Sum, you watch your Zalo, you watch all of these things. You need to change your habit. And I'm not saying don't watch those soapies. Just choose one or two that you think are enough. Don't watch every soapy from 6 to 9. Change your habits. What do you do when you arrive at home? Do you wash dishes? Do you wash your uniform? Do you polish your shoes? Make sure you get your duties first thing when you arrive at home. That's the first habit you need to do. Do all the duties when you arrive so that you can create time to study or time to sleep so that you can wake up in the evening, or actually not in the evening, sorry, but midnight you can wake up and study. So change your habits. That's another one. Then another one which is really important is stop procrastinating. You need to stop procrastinating. Oh no, I'm gonna study tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, I'm gonna start another day. You literally delaying yourself. Just make sure you change your mindset, change your habits, and stop procrastinating. you know if you really hunger and you really want to change how you get your grades, so you need to change your habits. If your habits of last year used to give you 40% in maths, for example, then you need to change those habits. You need to stop procrastinating. If you were pushing things ahead last year and it ended up giving you a lower mark, then you need to change. You need to be a different person. So approach it differently. Change your ways. Stop procrastinating. Another tip is, I hope you can see, is set goals. Probably you won't see it. You need to set goals. We all need to create goals. We've learned goals from life orientation, which is really important. So there's short-term goals and long-term goals. Be realistic with your goals. Don't set goals that are really hard to accomplish. You need to be patient with yourself here. You know, step by step you'll get there. So you need to be very patient with yourself and don't rush yourself or have high expectations from yourself. So the short-term goals may be, okay, in South Africa we have first, second, third, and fourth term, right? Now we're in the first term. So have some goals. What type of marks do you want to have for your maths or your life sciences or any module that you're doing? What type of percentages do you want to have for yourself? What are you working towards? So that is a short-term goal because the first term is just gonna end now. So how do you set that goal? You look at your grade 11. If you are in grade 12 now, look at your grade 11 final marks, you know, and start there. Oh, I got 40% in maths in my final grade 11 report. Start there. Oh, I want to get 50% this term in grade 12. So if you went grade 10, look at your final November mark. How much did you get? Like, what percentage did you get for that final grade 10? And what do you expect from yourself in the first term of grade 11 or grade 12? So you need to set realistic goals, especially the short-term goals must be very realistic. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. So let's say you got let's say 50% in your grade 11 or grade 10. Then just make a goal of, I want to get 60%. you know Make a goal of 10% improvement, which is realistic. You can do that. you know so that's the first thing you need to do. Set your short-term goals and try to meet them. When you set your goals, I'm not sure if you've noticed, whenever you receive your report, there's always going to be your marks and your grade average marks. So your grade average marks are really important because they tell you whether you're performing well inside in your class or you're the worst in your class. So I always look at that to see whether I actually performing well or not. So you need to check that. So in your first term report, don't just check your marks, but check your grade average. They will tell you on whether or not you're performing well. So if you are lower than your grade average, then you need to wake up and study because you are really falling behind. You know, and then set your long-term goals. Your long-term goals can be ambitious. You can be like, I want to get 90 by the end of the year. That is realistic. You still have time. You have 365 days in a year, so you still have more time to work towards that. So how can you see that you're getting towards that goal? Is through the report of your first term, the report of your second term, the report of your third term. So if, let's say, you wanted to get 60%, you got 50% in your grade 11 or 10 November report, and you want to get 60% in term 1, and you don't get that 60%, which means that that target of 60% needs to go to second term now. You can't be like, oh, I got actually 40% in term 1, but I wanted to get 60%, and then my goal in term 2 is still 60%. It doesn't really make any sense. So you need to always look at your latest report and make a short-term goal based on that. See? So please, guys, you have many opportunities. I always tell myself that I have 4 opportunities to actually do well. I have term 1. If I fail to reach that goal, I have term 2 to reach that goal, I have term 3 to reach that goal, and I have term 4 to reach that goal. So it's really, really important that you work towards yourself and strive to do better. And another thing that I would like to share with you guys is look around. Who is doing better in class? That is really important. You know, you need to check who is really um, an A student or just a student that is doing well than you. You know, get closer to that student. That is the trick. Get closer and closer, even if it means faking that relationship. Just get closer to that student. You need to learn how to do things. Basically, I mean, That's not a bad thing to learn from someone, right? Especially if it's a good deed. So you need to create friends that have the same mindset, same ambitions as you. So if you see that one girl or guy who is performing really well in class, learn their tips. So if maybe it's difficult for you to actually create friendship with them, because sometimes we are people, we're different, and they probably wouldn't want to be friends with you. That happens. But if that's the case, then learn how they do things. When the teacher is not around and the class is just students only, and your guys are making noise, what do they do when you make noise? When when it's time to go home and you all are chatting with your friends, spending a lot of time talking, where are they? Are they also chatting, or are they going straight home? Look at those habits. Ask them, what are you doing last night? But in a way that they won't see that you're asking them, because they can just lie to you and say, no, I was actually sleeping, I was watching this and that when they were studying. So you need to take note of that. Learn their tricks. That's how I actually performed really well, or how I improved, over the years. I remember it was in grade 9. There was this guy who was really performing really well. I learned his tricks, or I learned his habits rather, on how he was doing it. If he was taking a book and studying while kids or learners were making noise, I would do the same thing. Whenever whatever you did, I would do, but he wouldn't notice because we didn't stay in the same desk. So I would literally do that. I would change my habits. I would literally do that, and it paid off at the end. So you need to mm, take note of that. Look at the person that is better than you and see how they do things. That works like magic, guys. So yes, and lastly, you're just gonna see in the screen my grade 11 report on how exactly I got for maths, which is 98% for my term 1. So how did I get that 98%? Probably you've been asking yourself that, right? Um, the first thing that I did is I obviously changed my mindset. I did all those tips that I just shared, but most importantly is in a term, there's tests, right? And there's just going to be that one assessment for the term. You know, make sure that you excel on each and every task that is given from the class work. Make sure you improve. You try to work like with your own strengths. You study for that classwork if it's a classwork, or you study for that assignment or that test. You make sure you excel in it, because at the end of the day, all those marks are going to be combined and they'll be in your report, right? So you need to make sure that you excel in each and every assessment that you're given. That's what I did. I made sure I got totals in each and every test that I was given, and that's what I was getting. It was unfortunate that the last assessment I got, I think, one wrong or something like that, and it made me get that 98%. So, which was really frustrating because, I was like, I wanted to get 100%. But, anyways, doesn't matter. We've passed that. But just make sure that you treat each assessment as important and work hard for it. Prepare for it, study for it, and do good in it. And don't stop, because we run out of fuel. Sometimes you can do well in your first assessment and then do well in your second, and then the third and the fourth assessments you start dropping. Sorry, excuse me. You start dropping. So you need to make sure that you maintain your standard. You don't sleep, or you don't um, lower your grade. So you need to make sure that you pass each and every assessment. So you prepare and you treat each assessment with respect. That is really important. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, please write them down in the comment section below. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe. That's the only way you can thank me in whatever that I'm sharing which is really a blessing. Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to hear from you. I am here to help you guys reach your good grades. Thank you. Ciao.